We'll wait for a few more people to join in. I am Kiana Sage. Hello, hello. Just waiting for a few people to join in here. I know it's at a time that I don't normally come on here, but you know, that's why I say between 12 and 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I try to come on here and give myself a 3-hour window in which I could come on here and share just some insights and wisdom that I think would be helpful for people who are looking to grow in alignment to being in sync and to being in alignment with your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual bodies. That's what being in sync is all about. Operating in alignment with the natural laws. The natural laws are essentially how energy flows, whether you're aware of it or not. And the law that we are talking about this week is the law of cause and effect. And essentially, that law is that if it's showing up in your experience, that means that you are in alignment with it. It doesn't mean necessarily just the law of correspondence, but the law of cause and effect, meaning that you have something to, hi Wendy, good to see you. You have something to learn from the experience in which you're in. And so today I wanted to talk about, I'm going to wait for more people to join in here, but I'm talking about the aspects of, hidden aspects of resonance. And I have an interesting story that I think it might help you to understand. Hey Eric, good to see you. Thanks for being here. We missed you the last couple days. But you always show up after in the chat, so thank you. So I thought the hidden aspects of resonance would help people give a different experience of how to understand how energy is working always. And, that's why it's so important to be aware. Hey, Mick, so good to see you. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate you, Mick. I appreciate your participation and your sharing. Thank you. So I thought, if people really understood, we have this surface issues and then we have these hidden aspects underneath that really help us understand our vibrational experience. Hey, entrepreneur, you don't know why you're here, but you're here. Well, welcome. This is a nice group here. Hey, Jer, good to see you. Hi, Matt. Thank you for being here. Good evening. So I'll go ahead and start because I wanted to talk about these hidden aspects, but I was like, how to take these complex ideas and distill them down into stories or ways in which you can start to use it in your life. So hidden aspects are just that. So in energetic forms, we have things that get hidden, buried, concealed, locked. There's all different kinds of languages that seem really confusing to our mind, but energy can be quite complex because there's different nuances, different layers, different frequencies. And so I want to talk about these hidden aspects of resonance, and I thought, well, what's the best way to share with you so you can understand? So let's just imagine that you have a balanced ego, and your ego is balanced, meaning that you are not inflated in your ego and you're not deflated, meaning you're not beating yourself up. Hey, Sailor. Hey, Egyptian, Jer, thank you all for being here, being in the chat. We have mods today. Yes, we didn't have mods for the last couple days, and people were really not appreciating the chat in the ways that it can show up as the collective consciousness. So I just all want you to know that you want to not be triggered by other people to the best of your ability. So let's talk about triggers, because the negative ego often gets triggered. So negative ego would be either lower imbalance or higher imbalance. So higher imbalance is overinflated, and under imbalance is like insecure, unsure, doubtful, those types of things. Neither are bad, okay? Bad would be a judgment, but the negative ego is just something that we want to have awareness of. But let's just say you have a resonance with negative ego, okay? So how would that show up? And I'm going to share a story of some friendships. And these friendships are friends of my husband's who I don't particularly resonate with, but they have a good time together. They're friends, they're friendly, and so I'm just kind of like the spare, right? I'm along for the ride because they all have a lot in common, and although I'm friendly with them, like I don't really have much in common. I can have conversation, I can hold conversation, but it's not going to go deeper than the surface, right? So it's not super meaningful. I can be supportive and encouraging, but like they're not people who, I look at friendships as, people that I could be open my heart to, and they won't be in judgment. That's what I consider to be a good friend. That's me. This is my my description of a friendship. So, but these people, the woman and the man, they're just they have a lot of trauma. They have a lot of trauma bonding. This is not from what they say. This is my interpretation of the behavior that I have seen displayed. And they don't really go into healing because they don't really believe in healing. They believe in Bible study, they believe in talking, but they don't really go into healing. This is my interpretation based on repeating patterns of conversations and stories. And so, but they don't really resonate with me, vice versa, we're friendly, but my husband really enjoys them, right? So until you speak truth to people in negative ego, they always have a very surface until you're speaking the truth. And then the truth is a frequency now, y'all. Truth is a frequency. It doesn't mean you have to agree with the thoughts or the words, but it's a frequency of being in alignment. Now, when you speak to that frequency and you speak to your truth, that can often cause a ripple to people who have a very imbalanced ego. And that's what I mean by hidden aspects of resonance. So for me, I know I don't resonate with them, but my husband did until he didn't, right? So until he really aligned into his truth and really gave voice to his truth, there was pure resonance until there wasn't. So there was ripples of things not being as cool as they thought they were, but nobody gave it voice until my husband decided, you know what, this is just dumb. I'm just going to speak my truth. And he spoke his truth, which I applaud all of you to speaking your truth. And guess what happened? The negative ego got triggered, and then the gaslighting, and then the blame, and then the you didn't do this and you didn't do that. If you were a real friend, you would have done this. When you call them on that real friendness, I don't have time for this, I'm too busy. So the gaslighting begins. So that's hidden resonance. Now, I don't resonate with that, and my husband did until he didn't. So that's how you find those undercurrents, is understanding when the trigger happens. It's not that you go into judgment of these people for being in negative ego, but you really have to see people for who they are without judgment, with understanding and accepting them. And that can be very difficult when they're in negative ego. Another hidden aspect that I wanted to share, because I was really asking, what are the aspects that would be most resonant for you all to have awareness of, so you can look a little bit deeper for yourself. And when you look a little bit deeper, you want to heal that aspect of yourself. So let's just say you do resonate with the negative ego. And you don't want to resonate with that. So you have to go out of agreement. So you consciously choose to heal yourself, to address your negative ego, those aspects within yourself that would align to that. And another word that might be helpful for you to understand is burdens. Many people go into resonance with burdens. So how many times do you hear people talking about, oh my gosh, I have so much pain. My body hurts so much, or I don't sleep. And they talk about their ailments, and yet they don't change it. They don't make any changes to address the burden of physical pain, the burden of emotional pain, the burden of spiritual pain. Those burdens are resonances. You have to have a frequency of alignment with that. That means you're going into agreement. Another way, if that one doesn't help you, maybe this one will help you, is deception. A lot of people have hidden aspects of resonance with deception. And you might say, well, I don't resonate with people in deception, Kiana. But do you lie to yourself? Do you tell yourself half-truths? Do you talk yourself into things that you don't want to do? So how do you lie to yourself? Do you lie to yourself by not seeing people for who they are? By not accepting them for who they are? Do you pretend that people don't do things that hurt you when it hurts you? Another word that might work for you in that regard, which is blindness. Are you blind to what the deceptions? Are you blind to that? Because a lot of people resonate with deception and they think, oh, Kiana, I would never resonate with deception. That's just silly. But it is silly if you're resonating with it and it's not your preference. So your preference is different than resonance. And what in an aligned person, your preference and experience, they're in alignment, right? Your resonance, that would be alignment. But most people are out of alignment. If you have negative ego going and you swing from top to bottom or whatever, or you are around a lot of people who are incongruent, well, then that would be a resonance. So one of the things that I do often for myself is when I have a new client, I'm always super interested because I'm wondering, okay, what's going on here? What new and exciting aspects are going to emerge that I need to learn about? I think about that with all of my clients to see, are we in resonance with these patterns that show up for both of us to look at, or is it just for the client? I'm looking for healing myself as well. So it's like, it's both of those things can happen at the same time. So, negative ego, burdens, and deception are often the hidden aspects of resonance that I would say most often people have that they don't have awareness of. And so I thought that would be a good topic for you all to just go into inquiry for yourself, because having awareness isn't always enough. You have to have awareness coupled with conscious choice. And it's that conscious choice to either dig deeper or to make a conscious choice out of things that allows you to shift your resonance. So I'm curious, what questions do you all have around this topic? I'm just going to go through and see. Thank you so much, Matt, for helping, and Oliver. Appreciate you both. I appreciate you both being here. The topic today was hidden aspects of resonance. Hopefully I don't know what topic you guys are interested in, but that's what I'm talking about today, because that's up. That is up for us all to look at. Thank you so much for asking. How am I? I am good. I am good. A little cold today, but I need help or guide. I'm a writer, most visited historical locations. I need an invitation letter. Okay. Somebody's asking for something that I have no idea about. One question. I'm a girl from India. I'd like to challenge you for a wrestling fight. I'm absolutely not interested in that kind of challenge. Hello, Zentech. Good to see you. You're Professor. Oh, you're calling me Professor. Okay. Hi, Rose. Good to see you back from Dublin. I love it. Hi, Kiana. We no need care anyone. I don't know what you're saying here, Doctor. ASAP is saying, what do I think about communism? Well, communism is a type of leadership that lacks leadership, but is really about tyranny and lack of freedom and sovereignty. So I would say that true freedom and sovereignty is going to come when you are in pure connection with God, sovereign freedom. So your connection, your direct connection to God, source energy, creator, is where freedom comes from. It doesn't come from outside of you. So don't get caught up in that. And I will also say that I do believe we're here at a time on our planet where we need to really have that personal relationship within ourselves. I'm reading the comments, but I don't understand your question. So if I don't understand your question, I'm so sorry. Mick is saying, I used to, but not anymore. Mick, you are a changed person. Most of well-experienced, known knowledge, people listen most of the time. Listening is a skill set that there's listening through the ears, there's listening from the heart. They're different frequencies. Yes, I agree. Listening is an aspect of tuning in that most people miss. And I will say also when you hear silence, silence takes on different frequencies and tones and vibrations. So if you choose to tune into the frequency of silence, you will see it's different each time. It's really beautiful. And most people, a lot of people get very uncomfortable with silence. But when you understand that it's always resonating, it's beautiful. Doctor is saying, increase positivity, make people happy. That is only more important of this life. That would depend on your purpose. My purpose in life is not to make people happy. That's not one of my gifts, unfortunately. If I could make people happy, oh my goodness, that would be fine. But as you will find is that people have to resonate with change. And oftentimes people don't resonate with the truth. And I find that the truth is freedom. And a lot of people don't like the truth because they're in their mind and they think the truth is something that you think. But really the truth is a frequency. Life is short. We need to enjoy the short trip of the journey. You know, time is an interesting construct, right? Because our perceptions of time change as we change. So you're saying life is short, and I think that we're eternal. So, you know, is that short? You know, it's just your perceptions. And I think it's important that we be open to challenging our perceptions, right? You talk about the negative ego. Is there something that can be called the positive ego? Yes, that is delusion. You asked, I'm here to help. You want your ego to be balanced. And it's not about positive or negative, except for when it's out of balance. So we don't go out of balance in the positive. We go out of balance in negative, unfortunately. So positive ego would just be that you are balanced. That would be what's considered balanced. If you are one of those people that you just look at everything and pretend everything is something that it's not, that's delusional, often always considered with positive ego, which is the mind will trick and fool you all the time. That's why you want to trust your heart, or many people say trust your gut. Why? Because the mind will fool you. You will be lied to. Your mind can be deceitful. Even when you're asking really honest questions, you want to ask your heart the questions, not your mind, because your mind will lie. And if you're, somebody who is very into your spiritual development, you'll want to connect with your higher self, because your higher self is an aspect of you that connects to past, present, and future. And so that guidance, when you start to build a relationship with your higher self, that guidance will help align you back to your heart, to all your spiritual links. And that's really important when you're looking to get in alignment. Gur is saying this topic is so in tune with my makeup. Good, I'm so glad. I would be curious, Gur, what questions you have, because I think that this topic is so up for humanity, which is why, because we like to pretend we're at a particular space. And, I think it's really interesting because I resonate and my husband resonates, right? We both have different frequencies. But when you align to the truth within you and you speak to that, which I practice all the time, and my husband is getting more skilled at that than ever with other people, but it changes your relationships with people who have these hidden aspects, and it also brings up things for you to heal within yourself, which is beautiful. That is why it's so important to honor your truth by giving it voice. And I think oftentimes people suppress their voice because of how they feel like they might be rejected or oppressed or limited. And even myself, I put out that video about being bullied by your family over 5 years ago, I think. And although I don't resonate with being bullied, there are still aspects of when you're bullied that you treat yourself as smaller. And even I still work to expand into the truth of who I am, my full authentic self, because I was raised in a family where being authentic and in your truth, they might not have said something, but energetically I was so sensitive, I could feel what people were expressing without them giving it voice, which is also a gift. But when you're a little girl interpreting your gifts, you're not thinking that. You're thinking like, this is not nice. This does not feel good. And it feels almost, you can almost feel the hatred that somebody would have for you. And it's not that you're taking it personally. It's just that you don't want to trigger people. But then you realize that triggering people is actually a gift. So, when you get triggered, I want to offer to all of you here that when you see that you're triggered, you really want to dive into, this is a gift for me to heal myself. And what do I need to heal that this is triggering so I can go in? It's an invitation to go within. Do I have an answer for everything? No, I've been stumped, but I have an opinion. I have lots of opinions, but I'm pretty balanced in my perceptions. And if I don't have an answer, I usually don't answer. The definition of, I don't want to read those things. I'm not really wanting to get political here. One question, can you please explain who's God, who's human being? Can I feel God in your every day within each second? Well, first of all, there are many paths to God. This is my belief. You're asking my opinion. There are many paths, so I don't think it matters whatever you want to call your God. And I think that's what's so beautiful about being in alignment is that when you're in alignment to your heart and you are creating your own personal relationship with creation, you are developing that strength, that inner strength. You'll understand that you can accept other people with other beliefs, because it doesn't matter. We're all children, and we're all children of the mother and the father, ultimately, of creation. And we can get stuck in our heads about beliefs and right and wrong, but everybody in here is the child of a mother and a father, and we can honor that in one another, and we can honor that in the humanity of each of us. Now, you're asking who's a human being. I think that's becoming more of a question of what is the soul signature of that experience, because what you are speaking to is this thing called AI, and it has infiltrated our experience here on earth, and it makes things very convoluted because the signature is not of the soul. And so you really need to use discernment in your relationships. I hope that's helpful in some way. My father is stuck with an ego from the 1990s. Is it he's stuck or you're stuck? Because you're seeing him as that. So that's your perception. And he doesn't seem to have any progress with any kind of development when it comes to the identity and ego. He's about 60. Do you think he will change? I think he has to want to change. But you can change so when we have perceptions, I think my beautiful, soft little thing is bringing up a beautiful topic. So I want to just say thank you. Because you are seeing your dad that way, locks him into that expression with you. When you open your perception, when your way of perceiving is to see him as the loving father, to see him as however you see him, it changes your experience. So as an observer, you will begin to perceive other aspects that you couldn't see when you're holding them as locked in. Meaning, let me rephrase it this way. When you hold a perception of something, let's just say this person is mean and a jerk, and you don't like them. Let's just say you hold that perception. And therefore, you behave a particular way with them, which is maybe guarded, maybe shut down, maybe small, and maybe disengaged from somebody who is that way. That is a reaction. That is a law of cause and effect, okay? But what if you looked at this perception of your father as he's one of your biggest teachers? What is it that you need to learn about change and about evolution and about love that you have yet to learn from your father? What do you need to learn? So when we take it off of this person needs to change and put the responsibility back on us, because we're the only ones that we can change our own perceptions very easily, but we can't change that of others, but we can change how we see others. That changes the relationship, and now you have what's called circulation, and that allows you to go into a flow that is less resistant to change. The other thing I will say about change is that when you change, the relationship changes. You can't stay the same. So have you allowed that relationship to change with you? Because when you change, that can change. So I would look at playing with how could you experience your father in a new way instead of seeing him, he's stuck. That's just how he is. He's 60 years old. He doesn't want to change. Well, if he doesn't want to change, what is that saying about what you're resonating with him? Because you're in agreement to that. And I would go one step further, and you can go watch the video on soul lessons. But if it's your father that you're struggling with, there's a soul lesson there. And there's a lineage probably around change and perception of change and evolution. So, very interesting question. Okay, Mick is saying, I am so aware of time that I've wasted so much, I feel. Oh, that's you got to have forgiveness for yourself, Mick, because we can only go as fast as we can go. And, as somebody who feels like there's so much I don't know. Somebody said I have an answer for everything, but I really feel like there's so much I'm still learning. Like every single day I ask myself, is there anything that happened today that I can learn from, that I need to learn a different aspect or a different way or a new perspective? I always ask myself that. And I don't feel like time has been wasted if I've learned my lessons, Mick. So my question to you, Mick, is, you can do your life review now. And I didn't know I was going to be saying this, but when we are in the midst of transition, so people who are in process of dying or death and are able to the magnitude that they're able to process in cognitive ways, or the afterlife, we learn our lessons, right? So Mick, what I would offer to you is that there are lessons for you to learn about what you perceived as wasted. And have you learned those? And if not, I would say go back through your life and do a scan about, like, where did I waste time? Where did I not learn? What do I still need to learn? So that's not a waste. And you will shift your perception, and then you will see how full your life really has been. And it's not about creating guilt for not living a particular way, but you're still here. You're alive. You're kicking. You're making a difference. You see people. You see the realness in others. And that is an honor that you embody. And just embodying that changes the frequency of every person that you're with. Now, could you do that today if you didn't have what you had from before? Our life is a collective of experiences in which we are supposed to be learning, going back to soul lessons. If you are not learning your lessons, you will repeat and you will get in a loop. And many people are disconnected from their soul. And so therefore their soul can be hijacked. That's just the truth, which will probably go into my discussion tomorrow when I talk about fear, spiritual fears. I believe time is an illusion. It certainly is a construct that humans have made up, for sure. And it has been manipulated. Here in California, we have daylight savings and our clocks change. There's all kinds of things that they do with time. Max, that's very cute. Max is saying, I used to play the piano by ear, but now I use my hands. Very cute, Max. Doctor is saying, Kiana, as a doctor, I'm telling, we need to explain everything for everyone to understand. We no need to make everything in very complicated ways. We make everything in simple way. Well, I would say that I'm not one of those people that trust my doctor. So doctor, I don't need you to explain things to me, because I know that most doctors are coming from a very limited experience in their education. And although they may be a doctor and may have been what a doctor means to me is that they've been indoctrinated. So I don't see them as the expert on my body. Now, I'm pretty sure that you think differently, and that's okay. But I think it's important that that we learn to trust our own body. And we don't need somebody to tell us everything. In fact, I would say that is the ego mind that is telling you that you need to be the answer for everybody. Mick is saying the positive ego is good because I've been out of line with my ego in the past. Well, join the club. Who hasn't, Mick? There's nothing wrong with that. This is life. We're here to learn. And part of our learning is of the ego mind, because the ego mind has been hijacked. Wayne is saying, my cousin Joel was adopted out to a family for a while, and they beat him with the same wrench. Yes, well, that's, we all have our soul lessons. We don't get to determine what those lessons are. And although things can be very inhumane, tragic, horrific. I think we're just, we have to be compassionate witnesses and observers, and have an open heart to people who have been through very traumatic life situations. And I'm sorry for your cousin. I know he's not alone. My beautiful, soft little things, there's not enough thanks that I can give to you to compensate for this realization and confirmation. Oh, thank you. I'm so happy. Thank you for the kind words. It's not very often I get that kind of reply. So thank you. I'm glad that it was helpful for you. Thank you so much for your consideration and letting me know. Thank you. You can't broad stroke humanity. Yeah, you can. I do. It's called generalization. Why do we talk in general terms? Because we can't speak to every specific instance, because we all have our own unique experience from an experience. Somebody is asking, Mark is asking, am I a therapist or counselor? Heck no, I'm not a therapist or a counselor. I do energy psychology, which is the repatterning of the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual bodies. I'm helping people align within, not a counselor at all. Are you kidding me? But some people say that. I am like one. I'm not. But people only know what they know in relationship to what they've been conditioned to until they meet somebody like me. Doctor is saying, one simple question. This is our life. Life about living happy or worrying about what something in the past. Let me see if I can rephrase this question, Doctor. You're saying, is our life about living happy or worrying about something in the past? And I would say that you have your own unique soul signature. Your purpose is going to be different than my purpose, and we're all here to have our own unique expressions of our life purpose. Maybe, just maybe, you are wondering this question because you are in a struggle, and that inner struggle, that inner conflict needs resolution, not from something that I say, but something that you absolutely know. So I think you need to answer that question for yourself. Sick is saying that he thinks that the truth is in his mind, plain and simple. Who cares that we all have different minds with different thoughts, different facts, different ideas, different beliefs? You're right, I'm wrong. That's very much ego, Sick Ranches. The things that you say and the way that you say that, Billy, resonates with me. So thank you very much. Billy. Just looking for questions. Mick, and Mick is saying AI needs to be deleted. What if AI was a creation from Creator, and the intention behind AI is what is the issue? Something to think about. Thank you, Doctor. You have a great day too. Bye-bye. Oh, one more question from the doctor. What is the purity of relationship between God and human? That would be between you and source energy or creator. I wouldn't dare judge your relationship to God and the purity of it. Only you can do that. Only you will know that. I might have some suggestions or thoughts, but only you are the knower of your relationship between you and the creator. Everyone is like a drop of water in a very big ocean, Kiana. Not everybody knows everything. True. I have not professed to know everything, but you seem to be projecting that onto me. So I would go back to what you wrote earlier, where you are thinking you need to have all the answers for your clients. And really, what you've said in the chat here, at least in my experience, and I'm sure other people have another experience, but you can see that you are projecting your ego onto me. That's projection. And I would offer to you, doctor, that you could go back and watch this and see how that emerges with your comments. And that might be a really good learning for you, is that you don't have to know the answers to all of the questions that your clients or your patients have. You couldn't possibly have that without listening. Looking for any questions or thoughts that need to be... Hello CX is saying, working out for a month and no change. I hate my body. I'm stressed that I'm ugly. I can't change this. Well, what you can change is your attitude. You can change your attitude. You can change your way of choosing to live each day. So let's just say that you've been working out for a month and you are attached to the outcome. Okay, and what if you just let go of the outcome and you just worked out because you were choosing to listen to your body and see what felt better? Do I feel better doing this exercise or that exercise? Do I enjoy doing this lifting weights or that machine? You know, you kind of explore your body and you get to know your body by listening to the wisdom of the body. Your physical body is a vessel for your spirit. So your spirit is not of hate and discontent. That would be the ego mind. That was where we need to really have some discipline in our thinking. And that's really where a lot of people who have low self-esteem really struggle, is that their thoughts are overwhelmed with negativity. But you can choose to be different through a practice of conscious choice. When you have awareness of thoughts that you're thinking, you choose differently. And that's going to be a very painful unfolding for many people, but it's possible. Mick, thank you so much. He's saying, wow, you make a lot of sense. And say, Mick, you know, I'm just simply a reflection. You already know this. And I know you're going to go do that homework because you know you're going to be freeing yourself. And when we free ourselves, we have more of a connection to source and creation. When we keep ourselves in limited ways of perceiving, we know we're not in our deepest pure connection. Ryder is saying, do you think aliens are smarter than us, and what would they be doing? I think that's smarter than us. They have a unique alien technology is different in that they have access to information that we have been limited to because we live in such a dense environment, dense world. We have a lot of density here on Earth, and it slows the flow of energy. I did not draw the painting on the wall, no. Sailor's Life is saying, how do you know that the higher self is guiding you and not the mind or something else? They feel different. So if your higher self, once you get to know and build a relationship with your higher self, it's like meeting your best friend. And it has a different feeling when you're in connection and when you're in disconnection. So once you get to know the connection and feel that distinct difference, then you have that connection. And let's just say you get interfered with, meaning something severs that connection. Let's just say you go to a concert, and at the concert they're running these high frequencies that you didn't know about, and you feel disconnected, disoriented, and you go to connect with your higher self and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't even feel that. And so that's when you know to connect. Hello, CX. I read the comments as I go down. Obviously, I'm not reading in real time because I do present some learning at the beginning, usually the first 20 minutes of each video that I do that's live, because I come on here every day, and then I go through and read the comments. Oh, hi, Peter. I just seen that Peter's on here helping. Peter, Matt, and Oliver showed up to mod at some point today, so thank you. It's really a game changer when you're here. Let me tell you, you make a big difference in this. So I do read the comments. It just takes me time to get to them. Yes, I am. Mark is saying the exact same things. Can you tell me about an interview experience? A perfect interview. I don't know what you're talking about. Like a job interview, a perfect interview. Everything is perfect if you're learning. How about that? There's just preferences to it. Dark Eyes is saying, Dark Eyes is asking, does faith in Jesus Christ reflect the ego? Whoa, what a deep question. My intuitive hit on this is that your connection with Christ consciousness, Jesus Christ, as you're reflecting on it here in that language. I use the term Christ consciousness, and that absolutely would determine how you are imbalanced in the ego. Yes. Yes. In my perception, the answer is yes. Doctor is saying, I said in my own way, making everything as simple is a good way for everyone. Yes, that's your perception. What time is right now? Love it. Dark Eyes is saying, I'm preaching New Age malarkey. I'm preaching about the natural laws, and I don't even think I'm preaching. I'm teaching. I don't think I'm preaching. So that's interesting that you're saying I'm preaching, but that would be your perception. And I am talking about the natural laws, which goes beyond what you've been conditioned to think. Mick, people can't put you in a box. They try. They try. That's right, Mick. We're limitless. Katie's asking if I'm a Christian. I would say no, absolutely I'm not. Do I believe in Christ consciousness? 100%. You don't have to support anybody you don't want to support. Doctor, I thought you were leaving, and yet I'm still reading comments from you. I'm not sure what's happening here. No struggle, nothing in my experience. I asked, yes, I had seen a few of my colleagues. I don't try to make funny, take my question related. I'm really having a hard time understanding your comments, Doctor. I hope you have a great day. Thank you, Peter and Matt, for being here. Hi, Eric. Hope everybody is having a good day. Yes. Be happy, Kiana. I wish for everyone peace and happiness. Yes. And we have our own freedom of expression. Indeed. We agree, Doctor. Just a guy. You've never had a hard life. Well, you don't know my story, but it's so interesting how people in the comments say what they think about me based on what they see when they don't have a knowing. You know, go watch any one of my videos. You'll see my life. You know, I make the best of everything. That's my way. If I'm going to learn a hard lesson, I'm going to get all the lessons. I'm not going to be a woe is me, I'm sick, feel sorry for me. That's never been my style. That is not who I am. I don't need to wear on my sleeve the traumas and tragedies that I may or may not have experienced, because you know what? That is not who I am. My life experience is about my learning, and I am who I am in connection to my deep reverence for the natural laws, for creation, for love, kindness, and I'd offer that to you. Dell, hello. What are some of your favorite self-awareness practices to positively influence our hidden resonance? Any specific to our connection to the natural world? Well, Dell, that is a very good question. I would say, obviously, we all have life experiences, right? So every day we are in life. Whether I am having clients or a friend comes to the house, I'm having an experience. And those are always points of reflection, points of self-awareness that we can have if we're open to it. So I would say, are you open to learning? Which it seems like you are. So you would say you would basically go through your day and do a reflection at the end of your day or at the beginning of the morning, and you can do a reflection. So for example, yesterday or last week, I had a dear friend that I met, gosh, it was actually a colleague that I met maybe 15, 20 years ago. And we lost track of each other. We got out of contact. I stopped working with him. He wasn't a client anymore. And turns out he searched for me and he found me online, and we reconnected and we talked on the phone yesterday. And in our conversation, we talked for over an hour, just catching up on life and what have you been doing and blah, blah, blah. And afterwards, I got off the phone and I was like, whoa, that was so beautiful to connect. And then the next question is, what learning do I have from that interaction? What learning do I have from that connection with that friend? And, you know, I listen to, and usually I get a number because I am very analytical and I do things with numbers and specificity, and I want to learn all my lessons. And so I ask intuitively, how many lessons do I have to learn from that interaction? This is what I do. You ask, Dell, I'm telling you, this is what I do. And then I'll say, okay, I've got 8 lessons. I had 8 lessons to learn from that interaction. And then I sit with the question, what do I need to learn? And I learned a lot of things, but one of the things I learned was about love. And, you know, yes, I believe in love. And yes, I believe that we can have love that transcends. But it's an interesting thing when you do what I do, or what I do when I do. You know, I work with people from all over the world. Some of them I work with for 1 session. Some of them I work with for 10 sessions. Some people I work with for years. It just depends on their depth and desire to continue to learn. And it's kind of an interesting dynamic of whether you're going, you know, the love that you feel in your heart for these people also my clients, like I feel true love. Do I love them? Yes. Do I say I love you to them? Most of the time, if I feel like we've developed the relationship where they won't misunderstand that I am loving them, you know, I share that with them. And even, I think I told you all, I had one of my husband's friends came from college, and he kept on saying, I just don't know what's happening here. I think I need it, but I don't know what this is. And I'm like, this is love. This is what people do in the frequency of love. There's no judgment, there's presence, and there's accepting. You know, we're not trying to change people. We just want to be in the frequency of love. And so what do? I learn all the lessons that I had from that relationship. My husband has a situation, I learn from him and him having his experience. And also, you know, I've been I work with couples. I don't know if you guys know that. I do sessions with couples as well. And when you work with couples, couples have soul lessons too together. And so it's interesting to see how they emerge as well in the relationship and even in my own relationship. So I'm constantly looking at those aspects. So is that helpful? And anything specific to connecting with the natural world? Yes. Let me answer that question. Connect with creation, source, God, whatever you are most comfortable with. And then I will also say it's so important to connect with the elementals, the elements of earth, air, water, fire, and to bring them into your field and to begin to balance those elements within you, because you are aspects of creation and those are all aspects of creator. So you want to bring those in and embody it, and also ask for them to those elements. Those elements are just like spirits. So I know a lot of people aren't comfortable with this language, but you asked the question, so I really want to give you a heartfelt answer. When you work with the elements of air, water, earth, fire, those are healing elements. And if you build a deep connection with them and you ask for the spirit of fire, the spirit of those spirits will work with you, through you, and help to heal and balance you in your field. So that's one way in which I work with the natural elements every day. I use blessings and prayers every day. Like I have my water sits on a prayer. My vitamins and herbs sit on a prayer. So those are things I do every day. I set intention every day. Before every session, I set an intention for the session to be in alignment with what is best for creation. Kiana, can you please sing a song for us, your favorite song? We will be very happy. Doctor, you almost make me want to cry. Yeah, you almost make me want to cry. But I have been singing my song for you. I have been singing the song. So thank you for your conscious awareness for hearing that and asking for that, because it's coming through my voice. It's coming through my presence, and it comes through this video. So thank you so much. I was not expecting that. That is, I actually want to take a picture of that. Okay. Because I don't want to forget that you asked that. And I honestly, I just want to say for everybody in the chat here, I'm not a singer, but we all are singers, so I'm not a professional singer. And I have a lot of experience with, singing, in that I have taught a lot of singing classes. I used to put on a program called The Voice of Your Soul, and I did another program called Voice Mastery. And it really is about bringing the nonverbal, the non-physical into the physical manifestation. And it was such a great class, and it was my highest rated class I've ever taught. And I just have not seen how to bring it into the general public in a way that would work. Because I'm not a marketer. You see on here, I don't market. I come on here because this is what I'm being guided to do for no other reason. I'm not getting clients. It's not about clients, and it's about being in service. So what do I want to say about that? Peter's Yeah, Mick, the mods are just amazing. It's so helpful. Oh, my light went out. My battery's dead. I didn't plug it in. Okay, let me see. Please be respectful to the host. Thank you. I'm trying to get to the questions. I must be behind. Matthew, hello. Do I believe in past lives? I do. The simple answer is yes. I think the soul is so complex. Dr. Persian, my life is about learning. My life about learning is struggling. Kiana, I'm already asked you so many questions. Maybe pain can teach us many things. Have a good day. Thank you so much, doctor. I really appreciate you being here. Well, my life is about learning is struggling. Interesting. I'm going to have to process that one. Dell is saying, thank you for your thoughtful reply. I will implement this kind of reflection in my interactions. In fact, I was planning to do just that. I've had some profound interactions today. Yes, Dell. Open-ended questions are really powerful ways of learning and growing. Love is about unexpected infinity, feeling our feeling towards us, even if it's good or bad. Love can make things. Yeah, love is what we are. We're all love. Dell is saying, thank you. This connection to be the outer elements is absolutely connected to the same healing elements within. Yes, yes. A lot of people don't feel comfortable in those connections, but I think once you get over your mind's perceptions of what you think earth is and water and air, and you just understand that there's a spirit in everything. There's a spirit in plants. I've talked to my plants for years. I always talk to my plants. I sing to my dog every day. Like, that's what I do. Nobody taught me to do that. I just did it. Abdul is saying we are so close to each other, but we couldn't develop a real life, but somehow reactions automatically come up for certain situations. But regret takes longer to replace hatred and again to reach. What I would say is that you're correct and that our reactions are for a lack of reflection. So we react when we have not reflected. So our awareness has not caught up with our reaction. It's not about getting mad at yourself for having a reaction. We're human. We're having a human experience. We want to learn to forgive ourselves, right? Just be gentle and graceful to ourselves, and then go into, what do I need to learn from hate? Because there is a lot of learning in that frequency of hate. If you learn your lessons from it, then you won't resonate with it as much. Same thing with negative ego. Why did I have so many narcissists? Because I had a lifelong soul journey, that I had soul lessons to learn about narcissists and narcissism. And I'm not talking about the diagnosis per se. I'm talking about the expression of. Why is it that my vices help me to see things clearly? Why do they allow me to be open to everything and love everyone? I meditate on a daily basis, but my vices are the only things that gets me up to open. I really don't know how to answer that question, Outlaw. I would suggest that you ask yourself this question. How may I see my life differently? That would inspire me to be more aligned to my authentic self. Try that and see what you come up with. Witch doctor, I do not do psychic energy reading like that. I do read energy, but not in the way that you're asking. And I certainly wouldn't do it on a YouTube because, oh my goodness, I don't know what kind of dirty stuff you have in your field. I wouldn't expose myself in that way. That's not very, what I would say, energetically hygienic. So thank you, but no thank you. Now, if you're a paying client, I would help you. My mom used to say to speak to her plants every day. Yeah, it's great. They're living things. Tariq, I don't know what you're saying here. I didn't see anything. Dell, I talk to my plants as well. I consider them to be people. Well, they're not people. Come on. But they do have a persona, a personality, right? They're not people. We don't want to be silly. Our plants are not people. They have a different technology than we do. But they definitely have an energy. And sometimes our plants are like, oh, we need to move around the room. And we move plants that are similar away from each other. And then we learn they really thrive when they're closer to each other. It's very interesting plants. And there is this new thing, I saw it on Instagram, that's a microphone that you can put to the leaf or the stem of the plant and it plays the frequency of the plant. Really cool. But they're expensive, so I didn't buy it. But otherwise I would have bought it. Yes, we share profound wisdom in our DNA. Yes, that's why, plant healing is so helpful. Ayurvedic healing for me has been life-changing. But I will also tell you that I didn't resonate with it for years. And it took me really listening to my body and not what my mind wanted. Because my mind did not want to do take all these herbs. I thought it was ridiculous at first. And drink these shakes. And now I'm like, anybody that will listen to me about the power of the shake, which I have on here, the Smoothie for Life, is life-changing. If you drink that smoothie for even 2 to 3 weeks, your body will vibrate differently. Okay, just looking for questions. My plants love music and they thrive in it. Yeah, right, Matt? What kind of music do you play? I have a playlist here that I have going on in the background all day, every day. Abdul is saying, you are so great. Well, thank you. I realize much from your words. I will try to fix things which pull me down. Hopefully, I will become humble and patient over things which generate negative energy. Well, I would also, Abdul, ask you to look at what are the patterns. Look for the patterns because negativity always comes in patterns. So notice the patterns and sometimes just the awareness of the patterns, and it's just little slight shift that you need to make that'll get you out of it. Oh, Dell, your grandmother taught you the language of plants. Cool. They are people. Okay. All right, Dell. Jazz music. Okay. My husband wants to get one of those things that, they're like tin. I don't even know what they're called. That's what he's getting for Christmas, probably, a musical instrument. My plants just applied for a loan. Well, you've given them too much authority. Okay, looks like I've gone through all of the questions. This topic's very interesting, the hidden aspects of resonance, and it really is going below the surface. I want to thank you all for taking time to be here with me today to ask such meaningful, thoughtful questions. I want to thank Oliver, Matt, and Peter for helping with the chat. And I really just appreciate you all. I was feeling tired, but now I am exhilarated again. And I'm on here every day from 12 until 3, somewhere in between there. So if you're new here, you want to hit the notifications. And We need to focus on mentally positive things instead of the material world. I'm pleased and grateful to hear it. I'm great lesson you made. Okay, good. Hey, Michelle, good to see you. We're just heading off. Thanks so much, Peter, for being here. I think tomorrow's topic is going to be spiritual fear, which is just about ignorance, right? Anyways, that's what I'm playing with the topic. Thank you so much, y'all. You have a great day. Have a great day, and namaste to you all. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, Peter should be interesting. Thank you, bye.